Hey everybody, got a message to share again today. That message is that Democrat versus Republican, that's just a big old scam. It used to be that we could all agree that we just want freedom as Americans, right? And that might mean LGBT rights or it might mean gun rights, but for the most part, we all want freedom of speech. Because if one person loses freedom of speech, then later everybody's going to lose freedom of speech. Both sides of the government hate free speech. They want you to believe what they say, and today the government is set on making the left and the right hate each other. Lately, they've been using race to divide us, and everyone is falling for it. Most people are falling for it. Not me. Today we have a lot of people who are just bored sitting around their house, and they want a cause to fight. They want to look important. They want to signal to everyone else that they're virtuous. And the left and the right are doing this constantly, so we call it virtue signaling. Some of the people want to verbally, even physically attack someone for sporting a Confederate flag or an Antifa flag without opening a dialogue. Both sides refuse to open dialogue and talk about the issues that they want peace on. So they just want to hate each other. Some people want to even sport a coexist bumper sticker, all the while holding hate in their heart for people that they disagree with. There are different forms of racism, and most of those forms are only free speech. It sucks that some people would think that races shouldn't mix. I think interracial children are wonderful and essential to avoid inbreeding in our society. It also sucks that a lot of people still think it's completely acceptable to use the N-word. That may be free speech. I wouldn't want to take away anyone's free speech, but I'm certainly not even going to say it here. So I'm certainly not going to say it out in the world either. Because why? It's hurtful. It hurts people's feelings, and I don't want to hurt people's feelings. But if you take away free speech, then again, that law is going to be turned back around on you later. The black community's elders are even frustrated with the younger black community using the N-word as much as they do. But taking away free speech is not going to solve your problems. If you make a law to take away someone's free speech, later on, I promise you, that law will be turned against you. The government is happy to give you that law because in a few years, they know that they're going to be able to use it to destroy liberty all around for everyone. So the only form of racism that can and should be made illegal is physical violence. Very rarely, I have heard some white people say that they want to hurt black people. Very rarely, I've heard black people say it's not rape if it happened to our people. It's not rape if it's revenge. Well, these groups of black and white people should all be put into prison for life, period. They put away nonviolent drug offenders for life. These people should go to jail for life if they really want to, if they really do go out and hurt, rape, kill. Again, free speech is free speech. But if they are actually doing these things, then race shouldn't enter into it. They should just go to jail forever. Period. After a proper trial, of course. There are too many people out there fighting their neighbor for something that doesn't matter, when we could be standing together against the government and the 13 families that financially back the Democrat and Republican parties. All the candidates in those parties are backed by just 13 families that run everything, but a lot of people don't even want to believe that. And if you're watching this video and you say, I don't believe that, then you don't need to be watching this video. I'm sorry, but there are 13 families running everything. They want to enslave you. They want to enslave everybody. They don't care what your skin color is. They don't care if you're black, white, or red. They want us all to be slaves. To them. Good little boys and girls that follow their rules. When you give into those people, those families, those rules that they make, when you follow their rules that are unconstitutional and go against the very nature of freedom and liberty, then you're basically giving up your freedom. You're saying, I'll be a slave to these 13 families and do what they tell me to do and believe what they tell me to believe. Even if a part of me knows it's probably not true, I'm still going to do it. If those people can keep us at each other's throats, we will blame our fellow humans for our problems, when in fact it is these few super rich, elite pedophile Satanists that are working to keep us dumbed down and over-fluoridated and in front of the TV so that we only believe their propaganda. And that means CNN, Fox News, NBC, and all the rest. Judging people based on race is wrong, just like judging people based on sex or gender identity is wrong. As a former food service manager, all I care about is whether or not someone works hard or if they're a lazy bum. I care about whether or not someone is going to be an asset or if they're just going to bring me down, bring my company down, and make my life a lot harder because they just want to milk the system. There are too many people who just want to get money for nothing. And that's what I'm more concerned about. Not your skin color, not your gender identity. Are you going to work hard? Are you going to be a drain on society? That's what I care about. Race doesn't enter into it. Gender doesn't enter into it. I don't play that game. My daddy taught me better than that. The problem is, everyone wants to force those who disagree with them to change their minds rather than coexist. That means that you don't try to force people to change as long as they aren't hurting anybody. Coexist means we live together in peace. When that doesn't work, lots of people want to sit there and act like children on a playground and start throwing punches, which can lead to gunshots in the streets and hate parades on both sides. That reminds me of how you have people on the left and the right who want to take away the freedoms of the other team, and then if I tell them, that's just going to lay the foundation for the government to take away your freedoms later. Those people say, no, I'll just fight them. Good luck, because you just took out half the fighting force. You could have united with the people that you disagreed with to go up against the government, but instead you asked the government to take out those people. And the government likes that. The government wants you to beg for that. They want to put you in prison for having freedom of speech. They want thought police. The left and the right want thought police against the other side. And they don't even see the fact, most of them don't even see the fact that that's going to be turned against them again later. I'm going to tell you what I want. Really cool guy by the name of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I tend to agree with him. He said he wants people to, and I think he would agree, I want people to stop judging each other based on what a person looks like and start judging people based on their actions that we can see, instead of excusing shitty actions and shitty behavior because of party affiliation. So that means Democrats saying that a Democrat politician can be excused for his crappy, awful behavior just because he's a Democrat. Likewise, the Republicans want to say a Republican can be excused of their crappy behavior because they're a Republican, and then they try to write it off like they weren't even trying to have crappy behavior when they're both scumbag sides. The Democrats and Republicans, there might be a couple good people in Congress that want to help, but for the most part, they don't. They want to get reelected next year and make more money than you. Let's make all the politicians get minimum wage. How about that? Then let's see how fast the minimum wage raises. Not that we want to raise the minimum wage. We want silver and gold as our money again, of course. But these politicians don't care. The people that pay for their running for politics, they don't care. They just want you and me to be their slaves. They don't care what color our skin is. They just want to enslave us all. I don't know any people in my life that want to enslave black people. I don't know any white people who want to make black people slaves again. Just because they're wearing a Confederate flag or they say the N-word does not mean that they want to kill black people or enslave them. That is ridiculous. And likewise, I don't know any black people who just want to go out and fight white people and hate white people. All I see is a bunch of liberals and conservatives fighting each other over political beliefs. And it's not like a debate where we can pat each other on the back afterwards. It's war between some of these people, and they want to kill each other. That's not acceptable. Anyone who wants war, whether it's war with Russia or war at home, they should have to go to jail. Anyone who wants to fight someone else, that's a threat. And if you're making a physical threat of violence against someone of race or gender, I don't care if it's black on white or white on black, or straight on gay or gay on straight. If you're making a physical threat of violence, jail. Let out every single non-violent drug offender, and there'll be plenty of room. That's okay, whatever. You know, the Civil War was funded by the Rothschild family, both sides. The Rothschild family funded the left and the North and the South, or left and right as we put it now, but they just want to pit us against each other. So that way we won't fight them. We won't see what they're doing to us, to our children, what they're preparing to do to our children. I want to see an end to face masks, racial segregation, and intolerance on both sides. I want to see LGBT freedoms and gun rights for all non-violent adults over the age of 18. That's important. I want to see these rights for everyone who is non-violent over the age of 18. And I want legal marijuana worldwide with a side order of world peace. Thank you very much. And of course, last but not least, an end to all human trafficking and pedophilia. Isn't that what we all want? We want to see human trafficking and pedophilia ended. That's the fight we need to be fighting. That's the cause we need to be fighting. That is where we should be putting our energy, not in racial or gender segregation. Whatever that looks like, let's set it aside. Let's make peace, come together, and try our darndest to tell the world about the 13 ruling families and that they are trying to enslave us all. That they are trying to have human trafficking and pedophilia be a major part of our society. And that they want to normalize pedophilia by calling it pedosexual and tacking it onto the end of LGBT. And that they want to normalize hurting children because they think that children and adults are just a resource for them to use. Let's come together. Let's be sisters and brothers again. Let's be family again. And come together against the people who want to do us all harm. Thanks for watching.